practice it, make sure there's no bugs, have them take the initial diagnostics so I can see where there are. After that, if time remains, I will move on to some novel study time. I have PLC today, so me and the other 7th grade teachers meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 45 minutes. I think today is spent, what does this say? I'll get back to you on that one, but we have an agenda that we follow. I believe, and I can't remember what we're doing today, so there's that. Nothing after school. I did well yesterday. I actually left at about 4:35, so I ate some food. Other than that, I will touch base around lunchtime. If not, then after school. Talk later. Speak, raise your hand, Kenya. No, it's just in general. What is the central or main idea? You hear? Huh? No, we're not talking about this specific article. What in general is the main idea of anything? What does the main idea talk about? Yes, what happens, what the article or story or book or whatever paragraph is mainly about. Again, main idea and central idea mean the same thing. Toys R Us, the end of an era. If you spent your childhood anywhere from the United States to France, to Spain, to Hong Kong, it is likely that you remember at least one visit to Toys R Us, the massive kids' toy chain store with its bright and bold sign. You may remember running up and down the aisles looking at all the exciting offerings, from dolls to bikes to Legos. Everyone should be following. Toys R Us opened its doors in the 1950s. By the 1990s, it was the biggest toy seller in the United States. Because the store focused on just one type of product, toys, it was able to quickly become the most popular destination. In fact, many smaller toy shops went out of business because they could not compete. Good morning. It is 11:59 on Tuesday, August 18th. I have gotten through my first 2 sections. First section was a bit chatty, but not anything that is too crazy. Second section was bananas. I have created study carols for 6 of the students because they are just unable to stay on task. They were not happy about it. But I did see some improvement. I think I need to separate them a little bit more, so I'm going to ask the custodian for some more desks so I can put them in the back of the room away from their peers. I will also call their parents tonight, or text them, I should say, and then I'm going to do some other formal interventions to start tracking data to see if I can get them on a more formal behavior management behavior management plan. So there's that. Actually, plan isn't the word I'm looking for, but it'll come to me. I believe all my students from those 2 sections have finished testing. Actually, my first section, I think everybody was done. The second section, there was 3 students that needed testing to finish their testing. And then my section after lunch, I have 7 students that need to finish their testing. We went over a central/main idea lesson, and for one section. The other section that I have trouble with, I tried to do that, but they were not able to stay on task, so I ended up having to do a lesson out of the workbook. I think I'll just probably do that moving forward, just a workbook lesson for them until they can get it under control. So after lunch, wash and repeat. I do not have anything after school today. I do need to run an errand, so I need to make sure I'm out of here by probably 4 o'clock. Other than that, I will touch base with you later. All right, when you are done, pass your papers. 5, 4. Paper. Do not worry about the printed side. You're going to write on the blank side name, date, and what main or central idea means. Right now, that should be clear except for desk number 2. So I'll give you a moment. Good afternoon. It is 2:50. Kids were dismissed at 2:30. I am going to grade some papers and head home. I have an errand to run before 4 p.m. so that will give me an excuse to get out of here. I have I think 2 things to grade. And actually I have 3 things, but 1 is not pressing. And then do my slides for tomorrow. Get my agenda up for tomorrow. So that shouldn't take too long. My last section was no problem at all. So that was refreshing after my second section. We were able to finish up our podcast assignment and do our writing journal. I have them do a writing prompt every day. And then we also worked on a central and main idea packet in that last section. I also had, I believe it was 5 students that needed to finish their tests. So the librarian was nice enough to proctor that for me. Other than that, we are going to tomorrow do a couple more introductory, I'm looking at my list, introductory activities for our novel, and then go over, I still have 2 classes to go over the podcast rubric with, and then that's probably all that we will have time for. If time remains, I can maybe read the first chapter of our novel, and that's about it. So I'll talk to you guys later.